Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Mahoutsukai no Yome Season 2 Part 2 Episode 20, in which Chise and the gang will infiltrate Granny's little abode, Granny's humble abode. That's about my only expectation. And we're probably gonna talk a little bit to Lady Winter, or whatever her name is. It hasn't been revealed yet. Maybe she's gonna help us, maybe she's gonna harm us. Who's to say? First things first, a little bit of housekeeping. You can see the image maybe a little bit different because I cranked up the sharpening in the camera settings. I don't know if I should have done that, but let's record one episode with that up. The camera has sharpness that goes from 0 to +5 in increments of 1. And I would ideally like to pick something around 2.5, but either I can get an image that's a little bit too muddy for my tastes or a little bit too sharp for my tastes, but we'll see how 3 works. And another thing, new season is starting. I'm going to be watching new anime of this season. You're going to be able to see somewhere in the tabs or at the end of the video a link to my seasonal stream, or just check it out on my channel. I go a little bit in depth about every single seasonal show coming out in winter 2024, and I have my picks already. And it also means that I'm gonna have to wrap up this series and Saihata no Paladin and do it soon, because Dungeon Meshi comes out like today for you when it's gonna be airing. So yeah, that's housekeeping. Let's talk about what happened in episode 19 maybe. Well, in episode 19, Philomela broke. She just turned a full black form with tentacles and shit, and demanded to be let out of the college. She was, of course, stopped by the faculty, or, well, the professors did try to stop her, but she turned out to be powerful enough to be able to influence even them, to suck the magic even from them, despite the teachers raising all sorts of mental barriers and stuff. So the headmistress, Liza, just opened the college and let her out. Because that was, objectively the correct thing to do. You could keep her here and risk the lives of your teachers and students, or you could just let her out and nobody gets harmed. I talked a little bit about it in a previous episode, how I really like how personal that is and how small scale the stakes here are, at least as far as we're concerned, right? Granny wants to bring back someone from the dead, and Philomela gathered some energy mana to bring to Granny to power up the ritual. There's no world-ending stakes, not even the college is at stake, nothing. It's just Philomela and the Granny. Nobody else necessarily needs to be involved. So that's interesting. Of course, we set off on a journey. Well, before we did that, Chise, of course, wanted to save Philomela, despite what Liza decided. So Elias came up with well, not really. He called upon an ancient law of mages where they have to upkeep their end of the bargain. They have to upkeep their promises, their deals, etc., etc. And Chise promised Philomela that they will make a potpourri together. So, of course, she is bound by a eternal law to upkeep that promise. So, no, Liza, you cannot keep her in the college, we're going. And go they did. Chise summoned her draconic powers, turned into a dragon, dove into a ley line, and traveled forth. Her friends wanted to go with her. Not all of them. Rian is still in the infirmary, but Isaac, Lucy, and who else? Isaac, Lucy, and Zoe went with them. Though they are sorcerers, so they couldn't just follow Chise through the ley lines. Instead, Elias had to take them into himself, and he attached himself to Chise and followed her, which is amazing. I've kind of sort of been missing those like magic moments, not sorcery, those like, clinical analysis and crunching numbers and theories, but rather this like whimsical diving into the earth in the form of an ancient dragon, taking people inside of oneself, shit like that. That cannot necessarily be explained by any rules or magic books or whatever. It's great. So Chise emerged right next to Granny's home, and lo and behold, Lady Winter found her. We don't know what she wants, we don't know what she needs. We do know that one of the people in the mansion took a glance at her and was promptly killed by a crow. Because you don't look at her, because she's going to kill you with her maternal instincts. And yeah, Elias also is prepared to go out of himself, and the rest of the kids are staying inside of him because they cannot take a look at Winter either. We don't know what she wants from Chise, we don't know whether she's going to be helpful or not. We'll see. And also, we saw Alcyon's memories, a little bit of a flashback to how it was when she was created and she was tasked with protecting Philomela, all that jazz. And Philomela, turns out, did all of that just to get her parents back, which Granny will probably not bring back her mother. I don't think so. And to get some recognition and some praise from Granny, which she did not get either. And from what I understand, Alcyon was tasked with bringing Philomela back into the dungeon, chaining her back, shutting the door, and just leaving her to rot, because she's no longer necessary. So, yeah, hopefully Chise arrives on time, hopefully Philomela is saved, hopefully we can have the next, well, maybe not the next 4 episodes, but like 2 episodes of just being at the academy and having fun, going out, and I don't know. I just want them to be happy. I just want them to be happy. And I'm also not sure whether the raid on the Granny's mansion will actually take like 5 episodes. I don't think it will. Unless the stakes are just raised, right? Like 2 episodes raiding Granny's mansion, then it turns out that, oh no, she actually did start the ritual, it brought upon the god of destruction and death, and now 2 more episodes are about stopping that god of destruction and death. And then 1 last episode is the summary, a little bit of a wind down, stuff like that. That could be it. That could be how it goes. But I guess we shall see, right? And to do that, you will need to see your subs that are running for some reason down below. I'm gonna need to see my sounds, yes, in stereo. I'm gonna have to hear my sound to hear what's going on in the show, whatever. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 20 of Ancient Magus Bride, Season 2, Part 2, in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, starting with the opening. A little brighter, maybe? Sure. Wait. That's season 1. That was episode 20 of season 1. So again, subs, sound, support me on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. And now we can start watching the real episode 20 of season 2 of Ancient Magus Bride in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, flashback episode. You're the nanny. This inherited by Granny, I would assume, are those circumstances. Yeah, she's really calm being held by Alcyon. Smiling and laughing and all. Okay, learning how to cook and everything. So what happened to them that left just Philomela and Alcyon in Granny's care? We might learn that after the opening, I guess. I wish there were lyrics here. I guess before the series is done, I'm gonna have to find just separate lyrics for the opening, just to read them. Because it really seems like they would be at least somewhat relevant, seeing how the opening is telling a story in its own. So I would assume the lyrics provide narration for that story. I really like this opening. Also, please, Philomela, survive. That's all I want. That's all I need. Okay, we are continuing the flashback. Wait, so he's a mage? That's a very mage incantation, not a sorcerer incantation. Okay, maybe sorcery. Hmm. That's a nice looking tomato. Oh? Why is Alcyon learning then? Okay, you're simply this good. Understandable. Because of Granny, dearest. Mm-hmm. Iris being your wife, right? Probably. Feisty. And even his eyes regained a little bit of shine. Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's why she wants to bring you back, but not your wife, and that's why she hates the what she deems a bastard child. Yeah, makes sense. Good fairy. You deserve pats. Okay, so they are actually on the run. Yeah, sure. Interesting that this was the response, though, and not like, you know, cowering in fear. She's very headstrong. That's why Alcyone is here. Eh, you're a good person. I don't think you would sell Philomela off. Also, yeah, even if that did happen, Alcyone is here to protect Philomela regardless. Mm, and that's where Granny's people nab him? Indeed. Okay, so simultaneous attack at him and the house. Are you non-magical, Iris? Somehow I thought that she would also be from a sorcerer family. Why else would she be involved with sorcerers, right? Oh? That's good. Also interesting that every single one of them also has a like Carnamagus black skin, just like Philomela. Curious. I wonder whether it's just, artistic, or is it like actually they're under the influence of Carnamagos magic somehow? Also, she's alive. I wonder. I wonder if she's alive still somewhere out there. She's not actually dead, but Philomela just doesn't know of it. Hmm. Okay, so fair assumption that she did not survive after all. Yep. Oh, and they aren't dead either. So even if she did survive, they would have finished the job. Well, shit. But you still got captured by Granny regardless. Hmm. Okay, back to current time. Thank you. We're not doing a Helk. I'm glad. Was that Ruth? Why her? Why now? Why in general? Oh. Okay, so a deity. Yep, that's him. Okay, so Mistress of Winter. I was correct. Oh, right. There was something like that, wasn't there? So I don't think she was actually asking about mistletoe. Because grabbing a mistletoe and bringing it to her doesn't really seem like a particularly arduous task. War with Granny's people. Yeah, Isaac's clones. Help my friend. Yeah, that's gonna be useful. Oh? New transformation unlocked? Goddess of Winter form? Why not? Fair. You've always been hot-headed, Chise. She doesn't look particularly atrophied. That name being... Morrigan! Oh, hello! That's an unexpected but very welcome help. Were you summoned? Also, did her hair turn red because Chise's hair is red and they are like bound together now? Or, I don't know. I'm not particularly familiar with Morrigan. But there are like Elias's thorns, Chise's hair. Straight in the head. Yeah, she gets her share of fun, and you get some help. No, you didn't. People are the friends. Sheep are the rest. You care about the first bunch, you don't necessarily care about the other. It really is simple. Oh, nothing. Just an ancient god and a lot of murder. I'm actually like bound to Morrigan nowadays. No biggie. Right, there's that budding romance. Yeah. Werewolves are here. Yep. Is it though? Sure, you're a Gorgon, but you're also just a student. So chances are you will die here. Okay. Pepperoni stays with him, so it should be fine. Why take off the ribbon? Nothing beats just randomly getting assistance from an ancient god, does it? That was an awful short episode in general, though. I know, it somehow felt very short. I might even watch one more. Sure, why not? Who's gonna stop me? Yeah, I'm still wondering about Morrigan. I have like a vague recollection of someone asking for some sort of a favor in like season 1, I think. But I'm not sure if that's it, if that's what Morrigan refers to. And spoilers. So let's preemptively stop the episode just to make sure. Yeah, spoilers. Maybe I thought it's gonna be an after credit scene, but no. Alas. So let's watch it again, shall we? I know I cut this short because of this elaborate flashback. Yeah, I think that's why. I just kinda registered the real time shenanigans and the flashback just whatever. I'm very glad though that we're not doing Helk because I really was afraid that 5 episodes left, what can we do? Well, we're gonna have 3 episodes of a flashback and then we're gonna have the actual finale. No, thankfully not. Thankfully not. Everything was wrapped up in under half an episode. Good times spent with Lady Philomela. Even a worm will turn. I'm not sure what's that reference to. Voodoo magic, basically, like a voodoo doll. This is actually something still, still fairly alive, at least up until a couple dozen years ago. Even in Poland. Poland was always a very curious country, like religion and culture wise, in that Christianity never actually took like full on foothold here. Again, until the last like couple dozen years. So I still remember there being all sorts of rituals like that alive. Even nowadays, people like tie a red ribbon on their children's stroller to protect them from evil or stuff like that. And this moving the illness onto something else that was also still very much alive. Usually it would be like an egg, for example. You would rub an egg on someone's forehead when they had fever, and usually the chant would have something to do with like Jesus and Mary and all the saints and shit like that, despite being a completely pagan ritual. And then you would bury that egg somewhere in the yard, and all the illness would go with that egg. There was a similar one with like a bread roll, a similar one with a dog. You would move your illness to a dog, and dogs were inherently like more resilient from humans. That was the belief. So the dog would just, not really care about that illness, and they would go through it very easily, but a human would die. So you move the illness to the dog so that that dog can deal with it easier. It's interesting seeing things like that in this show. I really like it. That's why I enjoyed this show so much, probably. Well, one of the reasons. Mm-hmm. Except, like, here it actually works. Primitive hex for transferring symptoms to a doll. Hexes are my favorite kinds of sorcery. That was probably one of the kinds that we were taught at the mansion, right? How to cause people pain and shit like that. Artificial fairies aren't normally thought to change from their original settings. Go me. I wonder if there's actually something more to Alcyon than just him being a good fairy maker. I wonder, could it be that love has something to do with it? Right? Alcyon loving Philomela actually enables her to learn, to change. There's something more to Alcyone. She can learn. Love for Philo, maybe? I wonder. But yeah, I fully believe that either there's something special to her, or artificial fairies aren't well understood. That could also be another way, another reason people create artificial fairies and they just treat them as tools, right? If they don't treat them like fellow living beings. Someone creates a fairy to, I don't know, clean the outhouse or whatever, and that fairy just cleans the outhouse. It's a device for cleaning an outhouse, right? It's purely just a magical device. It just happens to have a humanoid form because it lends itself the most to operating tools and machinery, right? Meanwhile, if you do take a fairy as a member of your family, if you genuinely care about that artificial fairy, if you give it your emotions and your love and intermingle with it, it slowly turns from an artificial fairy, slowly becomes more and more real. Something along those lines. I wonder. Artificial fairies are always treated as tools, appliances. Alcyon was a member of the family. That's why she grew. It also kinda brings back the topic of Elias and his nature. Could he also be some sort of an artificial fairy? Because we know that he also grows thanks to emotions. Right? Experiencing them, naming them. And we know that even now, he's much different than from when he met Lindell. When he met Lindell, he was completely devoid of any emotions, of any feelings, just a artificial fairy, just a machine with no soul and no heart. Now, he can smile, he can laugh, he can joke around even, right? Even in that time span he already grew, and he's constantly growing. So I wonder if he is just as much of an artificial fairy as Alcyone, perhaps maybe created by someone even more masterful, or sure, something even more masterful. I don't know. The sergeants have always had someone to serve. Yeah, in this case it was the Rickenbackers. Iris was sold off to us. Use her to practice restraint, to not kill. Yeah. The would-be heir abandoned his mother, his lineage, and his family name. She thinks of me as an extension of herself. That just explains Granny's motivations. It really actually explains everything about Granny. There is no big, huge plot of trying to take the family over. There is no big, huge plot of, I don't know, trying to become immortal or whatever. No, she's obsessed with her son, and she wants to bring him back. And she hates Philomela because Philomela is an impure child of him and a slave girl, essentially. So of course she would not treat Philomela well, because she reminds her of that slave girl, of her precious heir running off with her. Right? It makes perfect sense. It really explains Lisbeth's motivations. Cool. Seems that the master has informed me that most important task in the world. Indeed. We can't have any photos. Yeah, because we are on the run now. Master said your mother sold you too. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to prioritize her if something ever really does happen. That's a good question, actually. Right? It's very often that while things are good, we think that, oh man, if things were bad, I would totally do the thing. And then things actually go bad, and no, you're not doing the thing. It's common, it's natural, it's human, so of course it makes sense. So thankfully they have Alcyone to take care of Philomela, to be the mother and the father to her. Yeah, I wonder about the skin color of those people. Does it have something to do with Carnamagos? Is it just an artistic liberty taken? Or is it something else? Is it like a full body black suit or whatever that just covers their entire faces? Or any other sort of magic? Was the Carnamagos testament in Lisbeth's possession? I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I actually think the plot goes like way in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if Granny ordered the Websters to be exterminated, to take their spiders, already with creating a fake Carnamagos testament in mind. I wouldn't be surprised. Then she waited for Philomela to grow up, to be old enough to go to the whatchamacallit, to the academy. That's why she didn't just kill her straight away. Yeah, I think that plan goes way back in time. She's been planning it for a while now. Huh. So yeah, she probably didn't have access to Carnamagos, so it's not the same. They're not human shadows for the same reason that Philomela is a human shadow. Also, very interesting that Iris is non-magical. All this time I was under the impression that the magic world and the real world don't really interact. Right? Like, okay, mages interact with general populace, they're making some remedies and herbal elixirs for the people, stuff like that. You know, they're the herbalists of the world. But sorcerers just, you know, intermingle with each other. They don't really interact that much with the real world because the real world doesn't necessarily have anything to offer them. But here we have a non-magical family who has a non-magical daughter, and they somehow got involved with a sorcerer lineage and was able to sell their daughter to them. Interesting. I wonder how that contact came to be. And also now we know whose eyelashes Philomela has. My cat is snoring. What? Yeah, it's a hex to mirror an injury. Clever. I'm more certain of that than anything else. Yeah, I'm not going back home. Little did you know, your mother will engage in fucking necromancy to bring you back. You're never gonna be free. I think it actually like stems from the place of control. It's not love, not even the like pathological obsessive kind of love. It's control. How dare he take his life? How dare he escape from me into death? I'm gonna bring this motherfucker back. He's not gonna die until I allow him to die. That's where it's coming from. 100%. Also, I wonder why did he not just heal himself? The wounds get transferred, sure, but healing spells probably not. Maybe he knew that his wife would already be dead by this time and he just didn't want to continue, but why? Why not stay alive for your daughter? Or did he just believe that, okay, Granny's on our trail, there's no escaping now. I might as well just fucking off myself. Yeah, I wonder why there is no thought of his daughter in here. It really seems to be just a wholly and entirely, selfish decision, right? Now, sure, he created Alcyone pretty much specifically for this reason. Should anything happen to them, Alcyone will still be there. But still, I know it kind of feels weird to be like, oh, shit, Granny found me. Well, sayonara then. Oh. Maybe it is supposed to be selfish. Right? Just like Iris said, I would not be able to predict what would I do in actual dire straits. So protect Philomela if I somehow refuse to. Or if he somehow refuses to, right? Alcyone said that even if you do whatever, I'm gonna take care of Philomela. And Iris said, record this day so that if push comes to shove, you can play it back for us so that we, know that it's about our daughter. But maybe it is supposed to picture that when push came to shove, he chose to escape into death rather than continue the struggle. He pretends to be all nice, but he's just a cookie brat who can't help but try to get even. Yeah. This curse won't protect you, but it'll take revenge. Okay, so they already had this hex on them still when they were planning the escape. Alright. Oh, the happy days. Oh, the happy times. Alas. I was hoping that at least those guys would remain dead, and that maybe, oh, someone arrives here, saves her, and maybe she is, alive somewhere in New Zealand, hiding or whatever. But no, I think she's legit just dead. Thankfully, Alcyone is here. How long did this flashback take? Okay, the bigger part of the episode, so I guess that's why the episode fell so short. I was given a task. So why do I sit here and do nothing? Why can't I accomplish this task? Why am I wondering? Why am I... all sorts of questions, right? What has higher authority? The primal goal you were created with, the primal task you were given, or Granny's orders, for example. Also, she's just growing. I wouldn't be surprised if she eventually was able to just deny orders, to just gain complete sentience. Is that Ruth? Possibly. A smart dog with a new master. Yeah, Morrigan, goddess of death, war, stuff like that, probably. So, yeah, Ruth is a bar guest. No, I don't think he's a bar guest. There's bar guest and there's black dogs, like cemetery dogs, and he's the latter. I think those are somehow different. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Ruth has to do with death, so of course he would belong to Morrigan's domain. Golden Branch. Pile of decaying twigs and leaves, death and winter. What scent of rot do you smell in your dreams? That's a question to ask someone. What smell of rot do you smell in your dreams? Covered in countless pieces of flesh and skin. Everybody is hinting at Elias being just an unnatural amalgamation. Right? Like the spirit of a fairy and the body just an amalgamation of twigs, leaves, decaying flesh, and shit like that. I still wonder what he is actually. Mistress of the winter and the night. Surely my daughter informed you. Yeah, that was spring, I think. Yeah, because spring comes after winter, so winter's daughter. Right, and summer is spring's daughter, autumn is summer's daughter. Yeah, okay. That in a coming year you would give your fruit to the mother. There was something like that, wasn't there? I'm trying to recall what exactly and when exactly, but I just can't. Must have been season 1, because it's been a while since season 1. If the maiden is still young, it would be difficult to provide a sacrifice for you here and now. Is the sacrifice actually a mistletoe branch? If it was, it would be like super fucking easy. Like, every other tree in this forest has mistletoe on it. So just send Ruth to grab it and bring her. Here's your mistletoe, fuck off now. Right? But the maiden is still young. It would be difficult to provide the sacrifice to here and now. Is it about a child? Jesus' child as a sacrifice to Morrigan? Ah. I do smell the coming war. Neither spears nor swords nor shields, no war horns, just magic. I mean, hey, you have your swords. There's plenty of swords here, actually. And I think they all look like Isaac because they are all Farars. Are Farars somehow subservient to sergeants? Oh. So maybe Isaac's hood isn't actually like a traumatic response. Like a, you know, protection from the outside world or whatever, but rather a Farar apparel? I don't know, maybe the Farars are hiding something, elven ears or some shit like that. Ah. While under siege, none would have the time to search for the fruit of love. I'm glad she's understanding. Little bird that will take the form of a beast, symbolizing battle with heretics just to fly. That's actually a very good point. She could have flown here as a phoenix, but no, she decided to turn into a motherfucking dragon instead. If you don't want to give up something precious to you, don't ask anything of an elder god. Yeah. Provided that I will be given the golden branch later. Create my outline, bind me to myself. Oh, bind me to myself. I misread it as bind me to yourself for some reason. So I thought that Chise is just going to get another voice in her head. There's the dragon, there's Cartaphilus, and there's also going to be Morrigan inside of her. That would be interesting. But no, it seems like Chise is just going to give Morrigan her form back. Is that what it is about? Seems that way. Beautiful is the blood-tainted sky. Kill the medium before she's given her name. Yeah, so, okay. Interesting. Interesting that a medium is required to give Morrigan her form back. Is it? I don't want to read the whole, like, Morrigan mythos. But, let's, like, quickly maybe skim through it. Morrigan, Irish mythology. Great Queen or Phantom Queen, associated with war and fate, especially foretelling doom, death, or victory in battle. Often appears as a crow, which explains all the crows around. She encourages warriors to do brave deeds, strikes the fear into the enemies, and is portrayed washing the blood-stained clothes of those fated to die. Goddess of battle and war, and a manifestation of earth and sovereignty goddess. Described as a trio of individuals, all sisters, together with Bud and Macha. Maha. Ulster cycle. Oh, those are sources. Mythological cycle, nature and role. Triple goddess. War and tale. Arthurian legends. Yeah, sure. That's gonna be enough. I don't want to spend time reading the entire, like, glossary. Not glossary, but all of the sources and shit. Wash the blood away from your armor. Just what we read, right? Queen of nightmares, cackling in the dark, mistress of heroes, mother of warriors, bring here your name. Bring here the name of the goddess Morrigan. Over millennia, I lost my people and my language. Yeah, there's Not many people speaking Irish nowadays, is there? Millennia later, I was summoned by the maiden from afar. I'm still unsure what's the deal with the transformation from the Lady Winter into Bloodherd Morrigan. I know if you're more familiar with Irish mythology, tell me about it. Maybe it's actually part of it, or maybe it's just something for the sake of Ancient Magus Bride. Wouldn't surprise me either. Or maybe it's something that we just aren't supposed to question because that's just how it is. That's magic. That's the like fairy tale magic. That's how it works. You don't question it. You don't question why. What's his face? Trigwolf, like Slavic deity Triglav, went through some transformations, and with each transformation he gained another face. And after like 3 transformations, he became Świętowid slash Światowid. You don't question that. It's just how it works, right? What are these things? Her warriors, apparently. Know that none who fight on the goddess Morrigan's battlefield will escape. Well, thankfully Elias and Chise are not going to fight. Also, I don't know why I like this so much. That she stabbed him in the head. Usually you see people being stabbed in the heart, in the back, or somewhere. But actually, like the one proper way to actually kill someone, for sure, is just stab them in the head. I know, I just like it for some reason that she decided to do that. Also, that is a lot of detached limbs laying around. We'll be able to reach the mansion without being attacked. Yeah, thankfully. Chise is, of course, wondering about, was it I who caused their deaths? Could it have been avoided? Yada, yada, yada. She's reminiscing of what Cartaphilus told her about, being able to kill and potentially losing herself in this kind of strength. I'm just glad I don't know anyone here. That's what matters, really, isn't it? I don't know, they're just a bunch of randos. Whatever if they die, I don't care. Do I really know how to distinguish people from sheep? Yes, you do. Those aren't sheep because you know them. It's as simple as that. What are we prioritizing? We need to get that straight, or we could end up turning on each other. Yeah, sure. If your motivations are clashing, it could absolutely happen. Chise and Isaac will bring Philomela back alive. Lucy has questions. Zoe just wants everybody to be safe. Elias. Elias just wants to help Chise, and Zaccheroni, nobody fucking cares. Werewolves here. Interesting that Zoe is the one to face the werewolf. I would have sooner suspected Lucy to be the one. Like, oh, I have some unfinished business with those. Square up, motherfucker. Right? But no, it's Zoe. And he doesn't really have any beef with the werewolves either, so I wonder why. Zaccheroni is with him, thankfully. Also, surprising how easily Lucy just gave it up. I honestly expected her to fight like tooth and nail to be here to also see the demise of this werewolf, but no, she just, escapes with everybody and leaves Zoe and Zaccheroni behind. Interesting. Could be a sign of character growth? Perhaps. I was hoping I could use this when Lucy was in a bind, but so is it like a one-time only thing that you're gonna do? That's what I'm getting from here, because I was hoping I could use this when Lucy was in a bind. Well, you still can. If it's just petrifying the enemy, then you can still do that, right? Unless it is just like a once in a lifetime spell, or once in a week, or once in a month, or once a day, or whatever. I wonder. I wonder. There's the Thurisaz on his wrist. Could it be that he's going to petrify the werewolf and it can then be unpetrified? Maybe. Also, what's up with the sleeves? They are split in the middle so that he can get his hands out. Is everybody having... Okay, everybody has weird sleeves like that. Gotcha. Gotcha. Understandable. And that's the episode. Okay. So. Oh, I should take it off. So, good episode. Provided us some backstory, mostly for flavor, because like we already knew that Philomela's parents did love her, but we were, with this episode, we were kind of like smacked in the face with that love, right? If you didn't get it yet, let us show you. But sure, that was perfectly fine. It builds Alkyone's character as well. And it really explains Granny's motivations, and it explains why Philomela's parents aren't there and why was Alkyone created. So it had a purpose. It wasn't just, useless flashbacks. It had a purpose. Morrigan arriving. I don't know what to think of it. On one hand, it kind of feels like a Deus Ex Machina. On the other, it quite literally is Deus Ex Machina. A deity arrived. But it's not a bad kind of Deus Ex Machina, right? It would be different if they were facing off against Granny and suddenly Morrigan appears out of thin air. Granny's like, well, what you doing here? And Morrigan just fucking kills her, right? It would be different. But no, she appears early on. She just takes care of some random goons that, let's be honest, Elias could have killed just as easily without a problem. So yeah, and also her appearance wasn't necessarily like beneficial to our heroes, or didn't have to be beneficial. It easily could have gone badly. She easily could have just attacked Chise and Elias because, oh, you don't have the golden branch, well, you will have to surrender your souls now, right? So it didn't feel like Deus Ex Machina, but at the same time it kind of felt, so far at least, it kind of felt fairly inconsequential. We could have just skipped it completely, and we could have Elias just bind all of those random Farrar goons in thorns and leave them behind, or drag them underground, or whatever. And it wouldn't really change anything. But we know that Morrigan will be back for her golden branch, so perhaps this whole subplot will evolve into something bigger, into something more important. Actually, I have little doubt that it will. It most certainly will. So that was interesting, for sure. Just a little random, but it will have some consequences in the future, for sure. And I think that's about it about this episode, right? Now we're just gonna have to attack the mansion, get Philo back, kill Granny preferably, and stop the ritual. And we're still gonna have a couple of episodes to go. So I wonder if perhaps those like 2 episodes will be doing Morrigan's bidding, or 1 episode will be doing Morrigan's bidding, and 1 episode will be just a summary and a wind down. It could also be that Morrigan is a Chekhov's gun, and that Chise might actually ask her of something and give up something important of hers sure, but also get the help she needs, get the help she wants. And that's why we were introduced to Morrigan this early, and that's why we were introduced to the concept of, hey, shut your mouth, don't say anything. If you ask her for something, fucking think about it good, because she might demand your firstborn in exchange for it. So, be quiet. So I wonder if this mechanic, for lack of a better term, is going to be relevant soon-ish. Yeah, good episode in general. I am left really unsatisfied, but in a good way. Unsatisfied, but in a way where if I weren't recording those videos, I would just binge it all the way to the end right now. Because I would probably have started binging by episode 18, just episode after episode after episode. But yeah, I'm kind of limited on time, and every episode takes me like an hour to record, hour 11 already. So binging isn't exactly viable here. Good episode. I'm gonna be waiting for more. Actually, I'm not gonna be waiting for more. I'm just gonna watch it. Who's gonna stop me? Not Morrigan. So, I think that's gonna be it from me for today, but maybe you guys have something more to add. If so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Like this video. If you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos of not only Ancient Magus Bride, but also Saihat on a Paladin Magia Record, Dungeon Meshi, and other shows coming in this season, so stay tuned. I also stream sometimes, so click the bell to be notified when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, down below, where for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows, and for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube itself via memberships, super thanks, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without Undead, Survivor, Zayraina, Akumaster, Dr. Wood, Marsh, UK, Alive, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to give anything to Morrigan.